Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm Nika and I make book related videos, vlogs and all of that. And if you are new, welcome. If you are old, thank you so much for clicking on this video once again. Today's video is going to be a reading vlog and I'm going to pick up a very anticipated book. So the book that this reading vlog is dedicated to is The Divine Sword by Rita Chowdhury. Now this was originally an Assamese novel under the name Deo Langkhui, and this book, The Divine Sword, is the translation which has been done by Rita Borbora. So the original writer is Rita Chowdhury and the translation is done by Rita Borbora. And this was also the award of the Sahitya Academy Award. So it's about time that this got translated and made easily accessible to many different readers, at least who can read English and not unable to read Assamese. So I'm really glad that this translation has come out, and I want to start by thanking Fan Macmillan India for sending me this review copy, because believe me, I am very excited for this book. So in this reading vlog, I'll take you along with me as I read this book and share my opinions throughout. So it's going to be sort of a rolling review. I'll post updates not just at the end, which is usually how book reviews are posted, but throughout. So before we begin, I am going to share the synopsis with you all so that you can make an informed choice yourself if this is something that interests you. An unforgettable tale of love, ambition, rivalry and fate plays out in an epic clash of thrones. The unexpected demise of Prince Mriganko of Gobha, orchestrated by his rival, King Jokanko, has sent shockwaves of sorrow rippling not only through his grieving parents, but also the entire kingdom. Then, in a surprising twist, Jokanko voluntarily surrenders himself. Abi Kosari, the custodian of the threads of the past, must now unravel the sequence of events that led to this tragic fate, even as long-buried truths about bloodlines and tumultuous histories come to light. At the heart of the Gobha lies a story of power and prophecy. Years earlier, the young and radiant Queen Chandraprabha was banished by her husband for supposedly nurturing an amorous desire. In a foreign land, she later transformed into Kosari. Despite her efforts to start anew, her son Mriganko became ensnared in a ceaseless cycle of ambition and greed, navigating perilous landscapes marked by rival kings and their malevolent schemes. Now burdened by his mother's curse and armed with the truth, Jokanko must alter his destiny, wielding a divine sword that can bestow boundless might upon its owner. As dynasties clash and kingdoms crumble, an intense battle ensues among men hungry for the sword's limitless power. All the while, the wheels of destiny continue to turn inexorably. Originally published in Assamese as Deo Langkhui, this stupendous novel won the Sahitya Academy Award in 2008. It weaves an epic saga of love and sacrifice, revenge and redemption, immersing the reader in the blood-soaked tapestry of Assamese history. As you can see, it's a very beautiful cover as well. It's actually a surprisingly thick book. Let me see. It's 408 pages, but because of the size, this is definitely going to classify as a big book. That said, I am excited to read it, so I will be taking you along, and I hope you enjoy this vlog. If you have read this book, let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll see you with an update very soon. So my parcel, both cartons are here, and now I'm gonna unpack them. Can you guess what are inside? Yeah, let's open them and see. I mean, I know it will be a surprise for you. Books. Lots and lots of books. This is package 1. More books here. Look at all these books. Ignore my knees cracking, I'm an old woman. But yeah, they all came in perfect condition. The only book damaged was this book. As you can see, the spine got a bit torn because it was bent like this, but this is the only casualty. Everything else is perfect. It's a bit dusty, but that's it. Honestly, I'll take dusty over torn any day. But yeah, so happy that my books are here. This was the collection I had in Delhi, and I just had them shifted here so that I can set them up on my shelves and everything. So yeah, those are all the books categorized different. Like this is 2 middle grade, my unhinged / dark academia / retellings, African literature, a bit of Asian, Southeast Asian literature, short stories, non-fiction, contemporary. These three are, I'm yet to sort them. Then we have mostly Indian and Asian. Again, these were a bit separate, but yeah, same. Then you have the poetry, Northeast, mystery, fantasy, romance, and these are classics. So these are all. Hi guys, how's it going? So it's a couple of days later and I do have a reading update, and that's why I thought I would let you know about what I feel so far. So as you can see, I'm almost halfway in. I'm on page 198. I finished chapter 21 and this is my update right now. So in the first glance, this sort of feels like a multi-generational novel, because although it is mostly, so far, the story is told by our you could say protagonist Abi Kochari, who is also Chandra Prabha. And it's really interesting because this, as far as I understand, is also based on evidence that has been found about history as it was then. So it's really interesting seeing all the different kingdoms come together in the different events that they have. For instance, there was a scene in Majuli, I think, and then there was the Junbil Mela and all of that. It's really interesting to see that socio-cultural intermingling of the different kingdoms in Assam at that time, and how these events, these melas, were not just an opportunity for making fun and merriment and entertainment. There was also an economic give and take, political and social as well as cultural give and take. So it's really interesting to see all of that. And again, like I said, this is a story that is being told by our heroine. So it's really interesting to see all of the different ways in which the different actions of the different characters in the books were influence. So everybody does something, and because of which the line or the story that's supposed to be told kind of changes. So that's really interesting, and slowly it is being revealed. So really, really interesting. And apart from these main characters like Chandra Prabha, we have the Gobha King, we've got Mriganko, who unfortunately dies very early on in the story, in the first few pages only. It's not a spoiler, it's there in the synopsis itself. Jokanko, and who brings up which kid, and how things got kind of how Chandra Prabha or Abi Kosari became displaced and all of that. So that's very interesting. And I personally did not learn a lot of Assam history in school. At that time, we did not have a big portion of the course within history dedicated to Assam. So there is a lot of scope when it comes to me learning about Assam history. And so I actually bought this book recently. It's called The History of Assam by P.N. Datta. Glimpses into the History of Assam by P.N. Datta, which, as you can see, it's not a very thick book. It's a very thin book, but I think if you just want to touch upon it, at least for the first beginner stages, then I think this is a great book. It's very short and to the point, and even within the contents itself, you'll see how the different stages of Assam history are listed. Very analytical and very organized. So I really like that. And I also came across this book in the store. It's called History of Assamese Literature by Rinchi Kumar Borwa, and this one has been published by Sahitya Academy. So I'm really excited to read this because I was a student of English literature.
bachelor honors in English literature, and then I did my master's in English literature. So I know enough about history of English literature. I want to know about the history of Assamese literature, and so I got this book. Really excited to see how it goes. So yeah, that's my mini update. I got 2 new books and I just shared this little update with you of this book. This is very much of a historical fiction novel, and I've also read Chinatown Days by the same author, Rita Chowdhury. That is also based on actual historical events. So based on my meager knowledge, from what I've gleaned from these 2 books, it's that Rita Chowdhury mostly writes historical fiction, and if she writes other stuff also, I haven't really explored a lot, but I will very, very soon. But yeah, really enjoying this so far, historical fiction, and I think you can definitely give it a try. Expand your knowledge about the different states within India, if you're in India, and if you're outside, if you're not an Indian, then even then expanding your reading taste. So yeah, that's the update for now. I'll see you again very, very soon. Maybe when I'm, let's say, 75% in, that would be a good timing for me to give you another update. So yeah, take care. Bye. Hey guys, so I have an update. I finished this book. However, I have to say that I finished it a few days ago, but I was unable to film and update until now. As you can already figure out from my voice, I have been very sick, so this is the least sick that I've been so far. So I just thought that instead of delaying this vlog, I will just sit down, and even though I'm sick, I know you guys are all considerate enough, and I'll just sit and just let you know about what I thought about this book and everything. I also, I think, included a few clips about Bihu that we celebrated. We had a Husori team come from Jorhat and perform for the family, so that was a really nice time. So I hope you enjoyed that bit. Now let us get into the book. Now, for the longest time this year, I was very upset that I had not yet got my first 5-star read of the book, but this book changed that. This definitely, The Divine Sword is definitely my first 5-star read of the year, and I hope this is just the beginning and I get more 5-star reads. But I think this was such a wholesome novel. It deals so much with family. It's a multi-generational saga, more or less you could say, but it's set within Assam, and it also discusses a lot about the political and economic situations around the different kingdoms, the dealings that they had with each other and all of that. And I think that was done really well, especially because this is a space that is not often explored in literature, in fiction at least. So it was really nice, a change from what I've been usually reading. So this was great, and no wonder this book got the Sahitya Academy Award. So I think I've mentioned this before. This is the English version, the translated English version of Deo Langkhui, which is a famous Assamese novel written by Rita Chowdhury, which got the Sahitya Academy Award in 2008. So I think it's actually quite late that this translation has come out, but it's always better late than never. So I'm really glad that this came out, and now more people who are not able to read Assamese are able to read this book. So that's a great thing. The translation has also been done really well. Now, I have not read the Assamese version, so I cannot say for sure, but I do think, based on my knowledge about the culture, on my meager knowledge about the culture around Assam and the cultures of the different tribes mentioned in this book, that this is a pretty apt translation. I think if you have read both versions, the English version and the Assamese version, then let me know what you think. Again, like I said, it's a multi-generational saga, so we essentially see this family separated, and then in the end they all come together, and getting to know how each of them is related to the other is really interesting. And it's such a bittersweet read at times. I cried so much. I don't remember the last book that made me cry before this one. I really don't. So this was great, because I feel like for the longest time I've been reading so much, but there hasn't been a book that really touched me emotionally, that made me cry. So I'm glad that this one did. Again, it's no surprise to you all, surely, after hearing me regale you with the virtues of this book, that I rated it 5-star. It was such a good book, really loved it. The writing style of Rita Chowdhury is very simple and straightforward, with a good balance of flowery language in the middle when it comes to describing the people, the cultures, rituals, and so on. So I think it was done really well, and it's an easy read. However, that said, I think the one thing that this book is missing is a glossary at the end, which states the different words that I mentioned here, that say are Assamese, but of course belonging to the different dialects of the different people. So there are some words which I did not understand, and I'm an Assamese, but I'm sure you get what I mean. So it would have been nice, and I think that's the only thing missing in this glossary, because the explanation for that word might have been given in the beginning, but as you move on through the story, the word pops up again and you forget the meaning. So I think a glossary would have really helped the reader. So that is one feedback I would like to share with you all. But overall, it's really interesting, a beautiful historical fiction novel, and I think it's also based on some documents that have been found on that page. Of course, it has been fictionalized a certain extent, but the kingdoms, the Gobha kingdom, the Kachari kingdom, the Kola kingdom, all of that, I think those have been described really well in this book, and I think after a suitable amount of time has passed, I might also pick this one up. I think I've also shared before, but I do have Chinatown Days by Rita Chowdhury. This is the translation of the book called Makam. I'm not sure who translated this actually. Oh, translated by Rita Chowdhury herself. So yeah, again, if you have read this book and loved it, then I would urge you to pick up Chinatown Days, and if you have read Chinatown Days, I would urge you to pick up The Divine Sword. I will link the vlog that I made while I read this book so that you can check that out as well. But yeah, I am going to wrap up this vlog now and just urge you all to check out this book, because I think it's stunning. It's beautiful, beautifully written, and it really portrays the emotion of the different characters so well. You feel angry at certain people, you feel helpless because you're unable to bear seeing that person go through that, the whims of men and, you know, women's conditions in different societies, all of that. I think it was a very, very beautiful book, and one I am going to treasure for always. So yeah, thank you all so much for coming along on this vlog with me, and now I'm just gonna ask you all to pray that I get well soon, because I hate being sick. I am a very bad patient, I think. But anyway, yeah, thanks so much for watching this vlog. I'll see you again very, very soon. Take care. Bye.